Hi everyone, I'm just gonna do a quick video to show you how to properly update and swap the pen in your scene. So normally if you update the package, you can go into custom package and then pick the latest one. In my case, it is here. Click import. And then you have this window that comes up again. Just hit install from MetaQuest again. That's basically it. If you see the process getting, if you see that window pop up again, just click on it again and it should work fine. So there shouldn't be any kind of difference in your scene after you do this. One thing you'll need to do though is go into build settings, player settings, and this happened to me yesterday. Go into input actions and do make sure that this is set up properly. When I updated yesterday, this was gone, so you can follow the installation tutorial, but make sure that you have this MX action input set up because this will create issues in your scenes if you don't. And that should be it. And now so we have a few different scenes. There's a couple of technical demo scenes here. And I've been taking those and creating more concrete ones, and I'm sending them over to you all on Google Drive as I make them. I believe the input demo is still a work in progress, but we'll also take a look. So the other demos that I'm working on, they are going to be in examples, MX Ink demo, and they're here. And the first one is called Change Visuals. So I want to show you how to properly change the visual of your MX pen and how to set up your 3D models for it to work properly. So the first thing you have to do is go into Resources, Logitech, and fetch the MX Ink prefab as a reference and drop it in your scene. Once you have it in your scene, you can zoom on it to find it, and also make sure that it is at 0, 0, 0, 0, and that everything is clean here. So that's what the pen looks like. Then find the 3D model that you want to prep. So in my case, I'm going to take this syringe that I found and drop it in the scene. As you can see, this syringe is put completely the wrong way around, and we need to align it with the pen. So that's a problem of the 3D model itself. You know, it was built this way, so there's nothing we can do about it. So to make sure that everything works properly, what you're going to do first is align this syringe exactly as the pen. So if you want the tip of the pen to be the tip of the syringe, or maybe here, you know, it's up to you. I would put it like this, and just make sure things are, you know, aligned in a good way, and also that the scale is good. Then what I would do is, just to make sure that everything works well, is create an empty object, call it syringe. It's going to be a parent object for your syringe, and make sure that one is at 0, 0, 0, and that the rotations are at 0 and the scale is at 1. Just keeping things very clean. And then you take the syringe that the object that you just moved, and place it into this parent that is all clean. And you can see it also has its pivot point at the tip, which is what we want. And now your 3D model is ready. What you need to do after that is create a prefab out of this. So here I already have this syringe prefab. But I'll create a new one just to show you how this works. So to create a prefab, all you have to do is you grab your object and then you drop it into the project, the project scene panel, sorry, and drop it in there. And now I have a syringe one and the other syringe that I had before. Now you can delete these two objects from your scene. And I'll show you now how to actually swap it. So if we go take a look at this demo scene, what I did is I have basically a copy of the scalpel and the syringe that I set up as an interactive object. So this is not the same object that I created a prefab on. It's just I dropped it and created an interactive object. And the interaction that I wanted to do was when I point and click at the scalpel, it's going to come in my hand. And if I point and click at the syringe, it's going to come in my hand as instead of the pen. So it's basically swapping the pen model. I know some of you wanted to use grab for this, but I think point and click, it works much better, creates a lot less UX issues for the player. It's just simple and pretty clear. So I would definitely use this. So what I did, if I need to do it from scratch to show you, I took the syringe, moved it on the table, where I want it to be. And then I created an interactive object out of it. So Zoe convert into interactive object. And then now I said this needs to be something where you can point and click at it. And that's basically it. And I'll show you the interactions that we had to do inside of the syringe. So this one is ready. If we go in, so there's the point and click here, and you go into interactions, you see 3 different interactions. One is called switch to syringe, and that's the interaction that allows me to, when you point and click at the syringe, it's going to swap the pen in your hand. So what you want to do is use the action called set MxInk visual game object. And then in that action, you're actually going to drop the prefab that you have here. So if you want your pen to become a syringe, you drop the syringe. If you want it to be a wand, you drop the wand. If you want the scalpel, you drop the scalpel. In this case, we do want the syringe. So you just keep the syringe. If you want to go back to the default MX pen, you can just hit that checkbox and that will go back to the default. So here now we have an action that says when I point and click at this syringe, change the MxInk to the syringe. Yeah, that makes sense, right? But one thing we also want is to make this effect even more convincing is we want the syringe that is on the table to disappear when we grab it. Like that, it doesn't stay. You know, you don't have one in your hand and one on the table. So I have another interaction here that hides the syringe. And that one is dependent on when you switch to the syringe, the first interaction. So now what I have is when I point and click at the syringe on the table, it comes in my hand and the one that's on the table disappears. So if you look here, all I'm doing is when it is dependent on switch to syringe and it activates, and the game object to deactivate is the syringe, so it's going to disappear. And then this one is an interaction to say, when I'm grabbing another object, which is the scalpel in this case, I want the syringe to show back because we're trying to do a selector menu. So in this case, I am saying that when I'm switching to the scalpel, I want the syringe to show again here. You have to put all of those interactions on repeat, like that you can do it in a loop. And that works fine. If you're adding more than two tools, then you can add a third one, create the exact same interaction logic that you have here. Instead, you're just going to have to add a dependency here if you have a third object and you want the syringe to reappear when you grab, I don't know, a scissor and the scalpel, then you're going to have to add switch to scalpel, switch to scissors. That makes the syringe activate. I know it's a little tricky, but this is a way to do a selector tool that really works. and make sense for players, you can, of course, get in the scene and try to, copy paste everything. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope this was helpful. The next video is going to be about the drawing feature. And we'll take a look at how to do drawing, but also how to detect a path.